What's up, everyone? Lord Ryujin here again, bringing you more game brain information, facts, rumors, and all this other fun stuff. Now, from the get-go, I wanted to talk about a lot of things, but a recent article just came up actually that's talking about how Nintendo plans to unify the portable and the home console divisions. And I wanted to take a moment to talk about this because I think it's a very fabulous idea, and here's why. In the past, we have seen stuff like this. I mean, Nintendo is no stranger to trying to bring over the portable and home consoles together. You know, I mean, just look back at the Super Nintendo for an example. You had the Super Game Boy that popped into the Super Nintendo. You put a Game Boy game in it, and you could play a Game Boy game on your Super Nintendo. It was amazing at the time, and Nintendo has gone on to do similar things like that. I mean, look at the transfer pack for the Nintendo 64. Being able to play Pokemon games through Pokemon Stadium, as well as supposedly being able to transfer information from certain games, although I don't think that really picked up too much. And then on the GameCube, again, we saw it with not only the Game Boy Player that went underneath the GameCube, but we also saw it with games like Animal Crossing and Four Swords, and I think even Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles did this, where you could hook up your Game Boy to the Game Boy Advance, actually, to your GameCube and use it as a controller for the accessory, you know, the Game Boy Player, but you could also use it for, you know, Animal Crossing, for Animal Island, and all this other stuff. I mean, it was a very cool feature at the time. And with the Wii, they kind of did it. You know, with the DS, you could go to the Nintendo channel, and you could go to demos and download demos to your DS. But when the 3DS came out, I thought there was something that was lacking with it. And what that was a simple feature to be able to use the 3DS as a controller. You know, the transfer stuff. I mean, it was there. If you think about it, I mean, if the 3DS has Netflix and the Wii U has Netflix, why not be able to, you know, sync your 3DS up to the Wii U and use it like a controller? You know, like have off-screen play to where maybe you're watching something on your TV, sitting there, look down at your 3DS, and you hit off TV play and it goes to your 3DS, you continue watching it. And then somebody else who has the Wii U controller can then use for, you know, gaming, or to use some other app off screen or something. That kind of stuff would be great. And I've already talked about this in other videos, because with the CirclePad Pro and the fact that it gives you the second set of shoulder buttons, the ZL, the ZR, and it also gives you the second CirclePad, it essentially mimics what the Wii U gamepad does. And so it would just make sense to me to have the Wii U be a controller, not only just for games, but for apps. You know, let's be able to hook this thing up and send demos to the 3DS like you did on the Wii. Let's be able to, you know, have the same eShop, to where if I'm on the eShop on the 3DS, I'm exploring the same eShop, and I can then download a demo of a Wii U game, or even download a full Wii U game, send it to the Wii U while I'm away using some Wi-Fi on my 3DS. Or vice versa. Maybe I don't have the 3DS on right now, it's sitting in the back charging or something. Maybe I can have my Wii U up, and then off the screen I'm downloading some 3DS games. You know, some DSiWare games or something, sending them to my 3DS next time I cut them on. It's these kind of ideas that I think are going to give Nintendo the edge. You know, I mean, that was something that we kind of semi-saw with the PSP. It wasn't really the same thing. It wasn't really the same shop. But at least on the PS3, you could download a PSP game and then hook up your PSP and send it over to the PSP. But it wasn't while it was on. You know, it wasn't the same shop, and you couldn't really use a PSP as a controller. You know, so it would just seem cool to me. I mean, imagine if you maybe don't have the money to get another gamepad, but you already have a 3DS, like most people do. You can use your 3DS as a second controller. You know, I mean, this is something that I complained about with Animal Crossing when it came out on the Wii, about how, they said it was going to work with the DS, and all they meant was you could transfer your character over, and I thought that was kind of lame. I'm like, you could have had way better options with this. You could have had it to where, I don't know, I mean, granted, the DS is way underpowered in comparison to the Wii, but you still could have had it to where maybe somehow the Wii dumbed it down to where it could allow DS characters to come over, or something. You could have given us more options with this, Nintendo. And I really hope it's something that they do, because this announcement that, they built a new building and they're going to bring over 287 employees, and that they're going to combine their home console and their portable divisions, is pretty cool. I mean, this is supposed to help them speed up the process of games, because as the technology gets more advanced, it takes longer to make games. And if they're combined, then they can work on the home console and the portable version at the same time, moving people around wherever they need to get the process sped up. But what is great about this is that it also gives them the option, and I really hope that they do decide to do this, that it gives them the opportunity to do what this entire video is about. And that is bring cross-platform functionality. Because even though Nintendo has semi-teased at it ever since the Super Nintendo days. Oh, here's the Super Nintendo, and if you play it, and if you play certain games on your Super Game Boy, then, you get some different functionalities, you get some different stuff. Here is, the Game Boy Advance and the GameCube, and if you link it up, you can get some certain off-screen stuff, and, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles and stuff like that. But it's never really been full. It's never really been, hey, let's have it to where your 3DS, you cut it on and it cuts on your Wii U at the same time if you chose to. And you can also then access your Wii U screen, navigate through it, go to Netflix, it shows up on the top screen. You can explore Netflix just like you could if you're using YouTube on your smartphone to, have it control the PS3 YouTube app. Stuff like that. It is really a good time to do this, especially when all these rumors about announced next console systems about to come out. That supposedly Sony is announcing the PS4 before E3 or at E3. This gives Nintendo the opportunity to get in there and present something new. And like what Smart Glass said it was going to do, but to take it above and beyond and say, well, this is an entire portable, this is an entire linkage. Like we have the Nintendo Network that works on Wii U and 3DS. Now we're going to have a singular shop, and we're going to have a singular gaming experience. So if you're using an app on one, you can use it on the other, back and forth, no problem. And that's what I'm hoping that they do. But make sure that you leave your comments about what you hope Nintendo does, as well as what you think about this idea in general. Do you think it's a good idea, a bad idea, or otherwise? Make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment down below. Send me a video response. But as always, this is one gamer's opinion. Make sure you leave yours, and I'll see you guys next time.